Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. All right, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to the subscribe button. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? You got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby. We have a mobile app. So download it. So wherever you get your apps from, you go there. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from, but just go there. Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Wards, Venture, Woolworth, Goldblatt's, wherever you get them from. All right, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. Take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week. And not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence, Council the Third. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. All right, so if you have a Roku television in the house, do me a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your phone. To your television, television. All right, download it to your phone. Why do you keep saying phone? Download it to your TV. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking of. All right, download it to your TV and put it smack dab in the middle, right next to all of the other apps that you have on your Roku TV with Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney, Star. Oh, Stars. New one. Is the new one out? Yeah, I think a new one is out today. Huh. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Put it there. You can watch that on the big screen. Hell, run the big screen, right, Vicky now. And you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me. Personally, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my other co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. Want to follow her on Instagram? Follow her because you're an IGer. You just follow her at Maya_Kai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So keep them coming, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat today already. off the dub in early. You're looking good out there. Let's go. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. My man Armando Emeterio. Lara. Junior. My man Junior's in the house. It's Junior's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday, Papa. Mr. Showday is in the house. Bear down, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Michelle Wall's in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. What's up? Happy early birthday, Superback, a.k.a. Greg. Yes. I'm Greg when I go out of town. I'm Greg. When I'm out of town, I'm Greg. Well, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. I can promise you. It's a good cup of tea. Not a great cup of tea. I think I needed just a little more honey in there. I messed it up. That's all right. That's okay. Listen, we got a phenomenal show at 10 o'clock, my man. What is... That's funny. I remember Big Ike. That's funny. That is funny. Jay Grizz, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I see you pay attention in class, huh? I saw Junior wrote that yesterday. So yeah, our guy Big Ike went to Mississippi Valley State, one of the best offensive linemen I've ever played with, at any level. And man, he was the nicest guy in the world. Oh, okay. He was the nicest guy in the world. All right. And even on the field, he would still, drive you to oblivion, plant you, and then help you up. Okay, you all right, buddy? You good? And then do it again. And then do it again. And Junior would come in. We come in the huddle. We all grab, we hold hands. And like, unity. So if you don't know, Junior has a very nasally voice. He talks like this, a nasally voice. Yeah, unity. And then it started after we said it. Then I just one day just said UNITY. Like, so for those who don't know, that's a Queen Latifah song, UNITY. And so it just went. It took a life every time. Unity. UNITY. Oh man, great time with Big Ike. Isaac Green was our tackle. And man, was he a son of a gun, boy. I saw Ike get mad once. I think I heard him curse once. He's a pastor down in Tennessee now, and that was when Ike planted everybody. He just pancaked everybody, but he pancaked one dude so bad that the dude, I don't know if it was on that play or not, but anyway, he reached under his mask and like scraped Ike's face. And man, he was mad. I've never seen Ike that pissed. I think he even cursed. I think he's like, I think that motherfucker scratched. I'm gonna get his ass. We're like, oh shit, Ike cursing? Okay, man, that dude had no chance the rest of the game. Ike was. No, it was the dude. He scratched. He reached under his face mask and got him. That was the thing. Because I know it happened a minute later. Someone else scraped me under my face mask. Oh my goodness. Great stuff. So yeah, so Glenn Morgan, 10 o'clock coming on. Glenn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago. He's going to come on. We're going to talk Bears football, baby. They are back. The boys are back in town. I like it, baby. 4 practices in. And depending on what day and who you listen to, Caleb is a bust. Or Caleb should get a gold jacket. One or the other. We're going to talk about it. We're going to find some middle ground in there, somewhere in there. And we're going to discuss it with my guy, Glenn Morgan, from NBC Sports Chicago. Now, one thing I do want to, I guess I can't. Ay, Dios mío, no me digas. No me digas. Come on. One thing I do want to say, I want to wish I should have got this done. I didn't think about it. You know what stinks is sometimes when you have time, you think about stuff, you don't, and something comes up, you're like, oh, I could have done that. I could have done that. Oh, well. But anyway, today is a special day. I know it's me and Junior's birthday eve. That I can tell you. Uh-oh. But it's also my guy. I want to hit up my guy. I shouldn't say hit him up, but I want to give a big birthday shout out to my guy Ken Davis. He is a big fan of the program. You've seen him on here multiple times. All right, multiple times. Ken's a good friend, you know, and it's great to have friends and good friends in this business because this this business is very very cutthroat. Let me tell you that. It's very cutthroat. And it's people will step on you, people will backstab you, they'll talk ish about you, you know, because they want to get ahead. I've heard many a story. Oh my goodness, many a story about people doing just that. You know, to get where they wanted to get to, and they'll step on people, and it's crazy, man. You know, you sell your own soul and that's usually in the corporate world. All right. I've heard plenty of stories about people in the corporate world, you know, working for the big places that have sold their soul and, you know, stab people in the back and just to get ahead. And for some people it's worked. But my thought is, how do you live with yourself? You know, like how do you live with yourself? Like, you know, you stabbing some people back down, you know, talking down on, you know, that's one thing that you shouldn't, I don't know. Anyway, it's just good to have a friend like Ken in, you know, in this industry, you know, and I'm proud of it. Big happy birthday to my guy, Ken Davis. Man, we've had some phenomenal times. I should have posted the other one. We were at for my 50th birthday. That might have been the most probably the most authentic I've ever seen Ken. Probably the most authentic I've ever seen Ken, and it was awesome. We were up in Milwaukee. And yeah. It was such a great time. Ken was unapologetically Ken, and I loved it. It was just a great time. That for those of you who don't know, that was the night of the dead body situation. I'm gonna post it anyway. Here's my guy, Ken Davis. This is after the game, the Sox Brewers game up in Milwaukee. We were out imbibing downtown Milwaukee, and Ken just see Jason in the background taking a picture, a video, something. That was a great night. So happy birthday to my guy. Big shout out and happy birthday to my guy Ken. Man, I'm telling you. Oh, see what I tell you. More of the usual suspects checking in. Leo Factor in the house. Good morning, Papa. Yep, tomorrow. Yes. I am fired up. I said hi to Jay Grizz earlier, but yep, big happy birthday to Ken Davis. Plank is in the house, baby. Bear down. Bear down. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm glad you changed it up, Plank. I'm glad you changed it up. Junior said happy birthday to Ken. Ken's just a really good dude, man. And I'm again, like I said, I'm fortunate to call him a friend and have a friend in this industry. And I've got a couple in this industry. And I'm grateful because, again, I know how cutthroat it is. I know how jealous people can get. There's a lot of jealousy in this industry. And insecurity and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I digress. Don't worry. Big shout out. Happy birthday, Ken Davis. I'll have Steve-O cut this up and send it over to Ken and put it up on social media. It'll be pretty dope. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to camp progressing. I'm looking forward to the Hall of Fame game. I'm looking forward to. I'll find out this week. It's got to be this week. If we got credentials for the Hall of Fame game, and if I'm heading out to Canton, Ohio, that'll be a good experience. If we do go there, man, there'll be. We'll see. I'll let you know whether or not we go. There's a couple of parties there for people. Obviously, you can have parties there for all the inductees into the Hall of Fame, and it's going to be dope. The Mongo McMichael one's going to be great. Hey, I see what you did there, Baba. I'm looking forward to Nolans in February. Oh man, but it's good to be back. I missed you a week. Coming on once every week was frustrating. I missed it. I missed talking to you guys. I missed you guys coming on. I missed our banter back and forth. So we're back. But listen, we got a lot of sports to talk, baby. We have a lot to talk. All right. Like I said, Glenn Morgan, 10 o'clock coming on, talking Bears with me. We also have White Sox to talk, which is not very long. We have Cubs to talk, which is going to be frustrating for all my Cub fans. We have Sky to talk. That's interesting. Plank, man, thank you, Papa. I appreciate it big time. I appreciate it. Jay Grizz. Well, all my sports owners are back, baby. We'll be on today. We'll be on Friday, and then next week we'll be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right, so we'll be back our normal schedule next week, but we'll be back on Friday again this week. I just miss you guys. I miss you guys. So, anyway, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Man, here we go. First top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? 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 Here we go. The good guys. I say that begrudgingly. The good guys. My White Sox. Rough one yesterday down in Arlington. The White Sox lose to the Texas Rangers 3-2. Garrett Crochet gets the loss. They're keeping his innings down. He went 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 punch-outs. Andrew Benintendi, 1 for 4 with a homer. All right, his 8th of the year, driving in his 28th RBI of the year. Andrew Vaughn was 1 for 4, with shoving in his 44th RBI of the season. Elo Jimenez was 1 for 4, notching his 8th double, 8th two-bagger of the season. 9 in a row now? Unbelievable. I shouldn't say unbelievable. It is believable because of what they've done. 9 straight losses in a row for the Southsiders. And that sucks. That sucks. It's embarrassing. But keeping with the Southsiders, the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox are at the Rangers again tonight down in Arlington, Texas. All right, first pitch is at 7:05 p.m. You can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago or listen to it on their flagship, AM 1000. Chris Flexen is on a bump for the Southsiders. He's 2-9 with a 5.22 ERA going up against Nathan Eovaldi, who's 6-4 with a 3.36 ERA. I apologize for if you hear my landscapers again. They got here just as I was about to start the show, and I didn't get a chance to close the window, so I'll close it at the first break. But out there doing their thing. I ain't mad at them, make their money, Papa. I get it, but I'm just saying, you interrupted my flow here. Interrupted my flow. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, the White Sox are losers of 9 straight. Okay, the only record that I want to avoid, that we need to win. All right, we can't have the worst record in the history of Major League Baseball. We can't. We're bad. I get it. But man, who was it? The Mets? No. Tigers, Phillies, 45. Yeah, we just can't. We have to. I mean, we're not even at 30 wins. We're at 20. We're still stuck at 27. I want to say, stuck at 27 wins. Come on, man, that's embarrassing. All right, but this is what you get. You want to go on the cheap. Pisses me off. So you can get me fired up in the morning. The next top of the morning topic: Cubs. Man, oh man, what a tough game this was yesterday. The Cubs fall to the Brew Crew at the friendly confines 1-0. Jameson Taillon he gets the loss. He's 7-5. What a game he pitched. 7 1/3 inning, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 3 punch outs. Nico Horner was 2 for 5 with a double. His 20th. Dansby Swanson was 2 for 4. And you go 7+. He went 7 1/3. Give it up 1 run. The offense failed him. Period. Point blank. End of story. 7 1/3, 1 run. So I don't know what's going on up there. It's just it'd be easy for me to talk shit about the Cubs because they should be doing better. But I'm too busy being embarrassed of being a Sox fan. I'm just saying. They got to get their act together quick. They had the same record last year at the All-Star break than they had this year. So the same record at the All-Star break. So they need to go on a run, and they missed the playoffs by a game last year. So there's a blueprint for it, but they can't be losing these 1-0 games. All right, these poor offensive outbursts or lack thereof of offensive outbursts are killing them. They're killing them. And here's when you start getting to the 6th inning, 7th inning, you need to manufacture a run. And that's the one thing that really bothers me. And I'm not just talking about the Cubs. No, I'm talking about Major League Baseball, period. No one manufactures a run. Okay? Like at some particular point, you had to have a guy in there who's a speedster or who has a good percentage of stealing bases. And this is where I'm getting on my soapbox and get off my lawn. But who the hell knows how to bunt? So no one can get a bunt, base hit, steal second, have the next guy hit the ball to the right side of the field, move him over to third, and now you got 2 outs to play with to get him home. Or a wild pitch or pass ball. Okay? 1-0 games. When you're in the situation that the Cubs are in, they got to win as many series as possible. Which means winning as many games as possible. And you have to be able to manufacture a run. Just one. You damn right, baby. You damn right, Plank. Get off my lawn, Shawn. That's what I'm talking about. But that bothers me. That bothers me. Teams they don't focus on the fundamentals. Man, that's as old and curmudgeony as it gets. The fundamentals. The F word. The F word. Nobody can lay down a bunt. And you know, I forgot the law that it's called. But to become an expert at something, you need to immerse yourself 18 minutes a day, 100 hours a year, and you will be better than 90% of the people in that particular field. So if you give me 20 minutes a day of bunt practice, all right, it'd be easy in spring training. $20 minutes. 18 minutes. I get it, Shawn. The modern game in baseball is hitting home runs, but guess what? Sometimes you need a run. And when you get a situation like yesterday where the Cubs needed a run, so you're just going to walk up and hope someone hits a home run? No. Create that run. Manufacture that run. The Cubs, the Sox, a lot of other major league teams are in the same boat. They don't do that. And that is frustrating. That's where the diversity comes in. You need to be able to, and this is when people switch, it's when every time things change because someone else, it's better, the launch angle and the exit velocity and this and that, and I don't care. Every sport stays true to its fundamentals. And if you're sound in those, don't get me wrong, home runs are great. Crowd loves them. The scoreboard goes off, fireworks, the whole nine. Chicks dig the long ball, you know what I mean? I get it. But you have to be able to have somebody who can bunt. You have to. You have to. And that is the problem. No one focuses on the fundamentals. The fundamentals in most sports are gone. And it's evident in baseball. Man, I couldn't tell you how many times the Cardinals back in the day. Hell, the Cubs back in the day. Bobby Dernier, the Daily Double. Bobby Dernier, Ryan Sandberg. All right, Bobby Dernier gets on first. A bunt, a bloop hit, a walk, steals second. Sandberg gets him over. I'm sorry, he steals second. Sandberg drives him in. You know? Or Sandberg moves him to third. So now you have, who's third? Is it Leon Durham or is he fourth? Anyway, you got 2 shots at it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. So, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're gonna finish up top of the morning topics. All right, we got some good ones. Man, I'm excited to see some of this stuff. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. We got more top of the morning topics on the other side of the break. So keep it locked right here, baby. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel, you can find us at Sports Zone Chicago. And on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Now on the ground to short. Swanson, corner. Bush able to pick it, and they turn the double play. Well done up the middle. The 2 goal to the plate. On the ground to the hole at short. Long throw at Damas. Safe. Swanson. Line drive the other way. Base hit.
Miguel Amaya, the batter.
Runner goes, line drive, base hit into center field. Swanson's not stopping. And it's 1st and 3rd. On the ground to the right side, Horner, Swanson, Bush, turning, right on cue.
Wow, that was a hell of a double play. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those are the Cubs on the north side yesterday with a tough 1-0 loss to the Brew Crew, the Milwaukee Brewers at Wrigley Field. It's a tough one. Whew. That was a tough one. So that's where we're going to go. Oh, we'll finish up. The Cubs host the Brewers again today. First pitch is at 1:20. All right, you can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. No pitcher yet. That'll be a game time decision to be determined for the Milwaukee Brewers. Justin Steele is on a bump for the Northsiders. Excuse me. He's 2-4 with a 3.07 ERA. Cubs just can't afford to keep losing these games. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. If you want to make a serious run at the wild card, you have to start taking serious. And this is a team in your division. This is a team leading your division. You gotta, and it's a dual-edged. I mean, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone in that you're shortening, closing the gap. Not that you're going to catch them, but you got to beat your teams in your division. All right, you have to. You have to. You have to. You have to. Oh, the next top of the morning topic. Peep this bad boy. Peep this. All right. The United Center owners, right? Reinsdorf and Wirtz, I unveil a $7 billion project called What? Stop it. There you go. They unveil a $7 billion project called the 1901 Project. Okay? It is going to revitalize the West Side. There'll be a 9,000 seat music hall. You see it there. Okay. The parking lots that they own, they're going to be filled with different things, not just going to be parking lots. All right. Fields there. You know, and the one thing that they didn't say when they came out and talked about it yesterday, they didn't ask for public funding. They did not ask for public funding. So, you know, you wonder, like, okay, how is this? Are they going to fund it all themselves? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me? Those are the words that are coming out of your mouth, that you're going to fund this by yourself? Interesting. You notice there's a lot of parking lots around there. All right, a lot of parking lots around the United Center, which I thought is dope. You know, hell, that's where they have the Windy City Smokeout. For those of you who don't know, the Windy City Smokeout used to be on Grand Avenue right before the Chicago River as you're heading into downtown. It was in a small parking lot. I remember because the girl I was dating at the time, it was like 8 years ago. She wanted me to go. I was like, I'm not going to go. She goes, then just drop me off. I'm supposed to meet some of my friends. I said, oh, I bet. No problem. So as soon as you pass, you're going eastbound on Grand, right? You pass Milwaukee, Grand, and Halsted, that 6th corner. You go into the viaduct, and then you're going to cross over the river. Well, to the left, there was a parking. I forgot whose parking lot it was, but that's where the venue, that's where the Windy City Smokeout was. It's a small little thing. And then now it blew up into literally one whole city block. Across the street from the United Center. Where are they going to have that? Because I'll tell you what, I'm not a big country music fan. Okay. But I actually was working security there with one of my cousins has a security business, and I actually had a blast. I had a really good time. And again, I didn't even like country music. Imagine if I liked the music. They have little cabanas. They got VIP areas. They have little cabanas that you can rent, that you can, purchase for the weekend or a day, And that comes with alcohol and your own server, private bathrooms. Those bathrooms are dope. Those VIP bathrooms are dope. But I digress. So they're not asking for money for this thing. So they're going to build residential units and condos and apartments and other stuff and on their own, with their own money. Could that be one of the reasons that he's asking for funding for a new White Sox stadium? Because he's doing this, because Reinsdorf is doing this on the side with. This is another one of his projects that he's putting his own money into. Excuse me. It looks cool. Yeah. Cornelius Squall's in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. I think it'll look good. I don't know. Because let's look at this real quick. Look at it. Let's look at this angle. So in the middle, obviously, you have the United Center to the right of it. It looks like that would be the music hall. and then around it is a lot more buildings, residential. You're gonna have restaurants in there too. Is that what you're doing? I mean, because you're not too far away from Randolph and Fulton Market, and that place is littered with restaurants. So is this what you're gonna do? I don't know. You're involved in a community. I mean, here you go. Peep this. You got, and during the winter, you can have this skating rink, and is it going to be similar to what Rosemont has? I don't even know what it's called. It used to be MB Financial Park and something Financial Park. It's this park. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Over by Movie Co Theater, or would have all those little bars and restaurants, and you have the ice rink there. Is that going to be something like that? This looks like the music hall that they were talking about. Then you have some land for some park, some grass. If you look to the top of this picture, top right, you see basketball courts. It's probably not going to affect their 3-on-3. Do they even still have that 3-on-3? Remember they used to have the 3-on-3 tournament, the Bulls? They used to have it in their parking lot. And I remember it because every year, our quarterback, Paul, big shout out to Paul Ohm, good buddy of mine, would miss practice. We'd have practice. We used to practice on Sundays when I was with the Chargers. And he would miss practice because he had a 3-on-3 tournament, the Shoot the Bull round the ball 3-on-3 classic. That's what it was. Shoot the Bull. And every year he would miss because on a Sunday, him and his team would go down there. And our guy, John Cole, a big shout out to John Cole, is his birthday. He's a July baby as well. His July birthday as well. The owner, general manager, was pissed. He's like, you're leaving your team just to go play basketball? And he's like, yep. But that's interesting. Aunt Mas, good morning, Papa. If they're doing condos, they will pre-sell them, collect money up front before building. Yeah, you're right. You remember 3, huh? Our junior playing in that. Yep. Junior, I do remember. Mondo and Monica both used to work at Movie Co, but I remember Mondo used to work there. I think it got me in once. Or I saw, did he get me in? No, he got me in once. That's right. He did get me in once. Oh, you're great. I lived over off of Racine. You're right off of Whitney Young. Yeah. Okay. Was she in the little projects over there? My buddy, good friend of mine, God rest his soul, Big Rob, had some people living in the project, the little Lojacks right over there by right by Whitney Young. Man. Crazy. Glad to take you back. As always, you know what? We take you back to a time that was meaningful to us, You got Mac in for free. Nice. Yeah. So I'm wondering how, and the one thing that they talked about is going to create, thousands of jobs it's going to create. All right, thousands of jobs, which is dope. But more importantly, the permanent jobs. Here we go. The permanent jobs that it creates is what's going to be important. Here it is. Yes. It says phase 1 would create, and this is from the Sun Times from Abby Miller, from yesterday's Sun Times. Abby Miller, development reporter, that the project is expected to create an estimated 63,000 construction jobs. 63,000 construction jobs. I don't know if you heard me. You heard me? 63,000 construction jobs. 12,000 permanent jobs and $4.5 billion in annual economic impact, as well as the $104 million in annual tax revenue. And here's the thing. They're trying to get this shit started like now. All right. They're trying to get, and she goes on to say, it's dubbed the 1901 project. If approved, the estimated 10-year development would transform the West Side with green space, mixed income housing, a music hall, and more. Construction will take place in 7 phases, with the first phase expected to start as early as next year. Like, they might put shovel the dirt like January 1st. Like, they're not even playing. They're not even playing. And Abby goes on to say that the plan comes after 5 years of planning, according to Sarvice, first under the guidance of Jerry Reinsdorf and the late Blackhawks chairman Rocky Wirtz, who died in 2023. He said, Reinsdorf said he and Wirtz shared a commitment to Chicago and understood our responsibility to give back through our charity arms and by seeking out economic opportunities for our neighborhoods, for our neighbors who live and work around the United Center. Okay. That sounds great. But let me just say this. You are driving the price up of that neighborhood. It's already been they're going to move those people out of the little jacks right there off of Lake Street. I can't even remember what those little jacks are called right there on Lake Street. They'll knock those down in a heartbeat and rebuild something else. I don't know. I don't know. And the whole underlying thing, you see it and you're like, oh my God, they're doing all this. And think about how much money they're making. Think about the how much are they pocketing? How much are they going to make this on this situation? You know what I mean? And what about the prices? All right, you got a music hall. If you think prices are bad now, think of 10 years when this is done. It's a 10-year project. How many more venues do we need? We have venues of all sizes, small, medium, large, and stadium. And we have multiple stadiums. You can do a concert at Wrigley. You can do a concert that'll hold 30,000-ish, 25, 30,000-ish. Do a concert at the United Center. That'll hold, because you usually cut off the back end behind the stage. That'll hold about, but you get the floor. So that'll hold about 18,000, 16 to 18,000. Soldier Field will give you about 50,000. Then you have the City Winery, which will hold a couple hundred. You have Thalia Hall. I mean, there's so many different places, so many different venues. How many more venues do we need? How many more? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It sounds nice, but to me, there's something that doesn't sit well with me about it. And I don't know what it is yet. Again, it sounds great in theory. It sounds really great. But something just doesn't sit well with me about it. It's not about the amount of money he's going to make. That's fine. I don't care. You've earned, you've made that money. You're entitled to do whatever the hell it is you want to do with it. It's fine. It's something else. I just don't know what it is. You know? See, that just used to be called the West Side. So from like Randolph, it used to be the near West Side. That would be like Randolph Street. And once you hit Union Park, then it was the West Side. But after the gentrification, now it's West Town before you get to the West Side. So they added another neighborhood in there called West Town. So I go to my buddy's spot on Grand and Wood. I'll put my buddy Eddie from my high school buddy. And across the street there was an empty lot for the whole thing, the whole time. So for the whole 12, 13 years, there was just an empty lot, kitty corner from output. Well, they started building, and they built, I think it's at 16 units. It's they're parking in the back underneath in enclosed parking. But the top units are going for like 1.5 million. And this is an area, if you knew this area growing up, you'd be like, what? Drugs, gangs, prostitutes, all up and down that area. All up and down, up on Grand, up on Lake Street, all up. The reason I know is my aunt used to live over there when she first got married with her husband, God rest his soul. And when we go as a kid, we go visit them, you would see all this stuff. And now it's like one of the hottest neighborhoods there are a lot of people who stayed there, and their parents still have their buildings there. And man, they're sitting on a large piece of cash. And there's a lot of buildings, $1.5, $2 million buildings. Former Blackhawk goalie Scott Darling lives in that neighborhood. I mean, he lived down the street from my buddy who was renting an apartment a couple years ago. Nice house Scott has. Holy shit, nice house. Nice. It's one of those buildings. It takes up the whole city lot. Doesn't have a backyard, but it has the roof deck. It's dope. It's dope. So, I don't know. We're going to see. I'm anxious to see how it plays out. Again, they're not asking for any money. They haven't at all when they talked about this. We'll see. We'll see. And the last top of the morning topic, Bears training camp is underway. And there's a lot of positive. Here we go. Feedback from everybody. And I tell you to take this with a grain of salt. And here's why. Because if you remember, people were excited before about, with Justin Fields. And my stance still hasn't changed. All right. I'm a Justin Fields guy. All right. It hasn't changed. So we've seen a lot of the excitement that they're talking about. We've seen it. We've heard it. We felt it. So pardon me if I'm not jumping for joy over the hype that you're creating. And I'm not saying that Caleb's not doing well. I'm not saying that at all. I have nothing personal. I like the kid. I hope he comes in, balls out. Okay, I hope he does. But here's what it's from Dan Wiederer from 2 days ago. So Caleb still has a long way to go. This is on his Twitter account, his X account. Caleb Williams still has a long way to go to become a top-tier NFL quarterback. But man, oh man, some of the quote-unquote QB feel stuff he shows. Yep, it's in there. Special in there. Special is in there. But then, if you look down at the bottom, back in 21, he's like, oh, the more you watch Justin Fields deep ball, easier it is to fall into a daydream of possibilities. The blend of arm strength and accuracy are special. And then reporters turn and shit on Justin Fields. So forgive me if I'm not gaga goo goo over all the reports I'm hearing. I'm happy. I hear Caleb has showing some flashes. He's not backing down. He's having his good days. And I love it. Defense are having better days. I love that. Because let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. if Caleb was shredding this defense, I'd have a big problem. I have a big problem. If he's shredding. Oh, no, I agree. Both can be true, Cornelius. I agree. Justin looked good when he came out, but they're not in pads. Pads don't come out until Friday. It's 7-on-7. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. It's 7-on-7. All right. There's no pressure on the quarterback. You can't even, I think you get fined $10,000 if you come within a step of him. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Okay. But you're talking, oh, special this. You say, hey, they're doing well. They're progressing. The hype that they feed into, they get you to buy into, obviously for clicks, obviously for reads, obviously for likes, obviously for follows. But let's keep a realistic perspective. It's camp. No pads. Can't touch the quarterback. It's okay. Cornelius, and that's fine. I agree. Caleb releases a lot quicker than Justin's. It's okay. And I hope he used it. I hope Shane Waldron stresses that and uses that. Remember, I want them before they take the train. They can take the training wheels off after the bye week. Then you got the Patriots, the Commanders, and the Cardinals. Not in that order, but and now up until then, I hope Shane Waldron has Caleb work that short game so he gets it. He can do it with his eyes closed. Is in his first year. It's close to almost automatic as possible because that'll open up a lot. That quick release, give me a quick hitch, give me a slant, give me an out, give me a curl, give me all those things. Because that's going to open up a lot. Bruja 7, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. So the foreshadowing with Williams just hits different with what we know about the defense and the weapons on offense. Keep an eye on. I'll keep an eye on Dan. He has his own agenda. He very well may. Yeah, but then again, coaching matters. Anyway, listen, let's take a quick break. All right, let's do that. Let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, man, we're going to welcome my guy from NBC Sports Chicago, Glenn Morgan. I'm excited to talk to him. It's here. Training camp is here. No more weekends without football until February. I don't know about you, but I'm giddy as a 12-year-old schoolgirl about that. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Glenn Morgan coming up next. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm fired up. I am fired up to have my next guest on. He is a good friend of the program. I'm excited to talk to him. This is, Bears season is here. He's a Bears analyst on NBC Sports Chicago. You can find him on Twitter at True Glenn Morgan. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Glenn Morgan. Glenn, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good morning.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Dude, I just remembered when I come on your show, I got to prepare myself for those depressing ass PSAs that come on. Oh my God, dude. But what about cyberbullying? I'm here like, man, dude, before I get on, I know I got a big noggin. I got to make sure, it doesn't show and make sure no zits are there. It's like checking my soul when I come on your show.
Tina, you're a tramp. Your breath smells like garbage.
Exactly. I'm prepared though. That PSA prepared me so I can handle it. I'm good.
Hey, you grew up you damn well you can handle it. Especially the time era that we grew up in. Southside.
Yeah.
Oh man, so it's here. It is finally here. Training camp, football season has started. All right. It depends. I said depending on who you listen to and what day, Caleb is a bust. Or Caleb gets the gold jacket. One or the other. After 4 practices. Right. After 4 practices, right. Some say he's a bust, and then the next day he's a gold jacket winner, and then it's like, take it easy. Your thoughts on his first couple of days, where the defense had an advantage, but also reports are that he wasn't backing down, and he had flashes of brilliance as well.
Yeah, it just proves to me that we should have kept Justin. I'm going to start that all over again. No, just joking.
Don't feel my emotions like that, bro.
No, it's what's to be expected. I don't. You have a defense that's an experienced defense, young, but there's some good experience, especially with Byard back there now. So you've got a heady safety back there. They're communicating real well. The secondary, we all know, it's a strength of the defense, and that's where Caleb is going to be tested the most that we'll see. These 7-on-7 drills and some of these other drills, we're going to see the defensive backs flash. You know what I mean? So they should do things where they can confuse him. If the defense wasn't doing that, I'd probably be a little bit more concerned. By the same token, he's a #1 pick for a reason. So you expect to see him do things that make him look exceptional. I don't think arm talent and his athletic ability or his physical attributes are the question. It's a matter of whether or not he knows how to play quarterback in the NFL. And that's what he's learning right now. So yeah, man, it's going to take some time. It's going to look rough. It's going to look fantastic. It's going to look everything in between. What we need is consistency. And to be quite honest with you, Shawn, I don't believe that's going to happen until we hit maybe, if we're fortunate, late September, early October. But I really think mid-October, maybe a little bit closer to Halloween in terms of consistency. That doesn't mean that we're not winning, doesn't mean that we're losing every game. I'm talking about in terms of Caleb's trajectory being consistent as an NFL quarterback. Kind of like what we saw with Stroud. He wasn't really consistent. He didn't really start, ascending until about late October.
Right. And luckily for him, he had a guy who knew how to maximize his strengths. And as long as Shane is doing the same there, I think we're going to be in a good situation. I think as long as he runs the ball, relies on defense. I said, I had here. I'll pull this up real quick. I said after week 7, after the bye, when they get done with Jacksonville, they have the bye. I think at that particular point, you might see some of the training wheels come off because, the first 10 weeks, 9 games, teams, though, in those weeks, for the most part, Sands, maybe Houston, are not teams that can exploit us if we screw up. Okay, I think the second part of the season is a lot more daunting. So I think you can really establish the run game, establish a short pass game. Okay, and when you hit that stretch of 3 after the bye, I think you can open it up a little with Caleb, because to me, if you get that short passing game down pat, in addition to the run game, man, you got defenses creeping, and all of a sudden now double moves come into play. Now it's easier for us to go deep. Send slot guys deep corners or posts or whatever, or seams. Sure. So I agree with you. It might come sooner than that, but I hope that Shane Waldron takes at least till week. The reason I say it comes sooner is because they've had access to the playbook. All right, people talk, everyone's talking about, the cadence, got to get the cadence down. Like, okay, well, he had the cadence. He had the playbook, right, due to his quarterback coach and Shane Waldron being friends. You don't think – you can't tell me that he wasn't passing information on. All right, here's where you can't tell. You can tell me that, but I ain't gonna believe you. So exactly. I hope it comes sooner than later. Your thoughts? Defenses look real good, man. Tyreek Stevenson had a pick first or second day of practice. He leaped right in front of DJ Moore, snatched it out of the air when he rolled to the ground. Talk to you about his ascension. And, he finished up the year strong. Second team all rookie. Talk to me about that joker, man. Huh? Yeah, should have been.
Yeah, should have been. You know what? Hey, Shawn, I'll go back to before the season began last year, and before the draft even happened, I was talking this guy up. He was someone that I saw, during, the mock draft part of the season that I go through right into the draft, where I'm like, man, who is this dude? And he flashed to me because of his physicality, his size, his aggressiveness, all those things. And I think that's what the Bears saw, is when I moved up and took him in the second round. And last year, I wasn't coming off of it. I really thought he could have been a defensive rookie of the year. I thought he had that potential. Does that mean I was guaranteeing it? No, but I thought he had that ability. And he didn't get a lot of early traction. Right. Witherspoon did from Seattle, understandable. But the Bears weren't playing well as a team, so that had something to do with it. And then the secondary was messed up a little bit in terms of health, and their continuity wasn't quite there because guys are in and out. That had something to do with it. He was being picked on, which was good, and he stayed. Think about it. He came in as a rookie and started and never relinquished that at all.
Yeah. Yep.
So that right there is an accomplishment. So from there, even from that platform, I think he has much to build on. But on top of that, he tied for team league in terms of interceptions. The team total in terms of interceptions was 4. He also, I believe, in terms of all rookies, was tied or was either first or second with solo tackles. Now that's pretty, impressive for a cornerback, not a safety, not a linebacker, or cornerback. So that lets you know that, one, the defense wasn't that good, so he had to make a lot of tackles, but he was making them. You know what I'm saying? He was getting them to stops, and he had 16 breakups. So, he's nothing but to grow on from that. And now, you bring in a safety, and I like Eddie, but Eddie wasn't the most physical safety. So now you have Byard, and with Byard and Brisket back there, they have an ability where one doesn't have to necessarily be the box guy, the other guy be, the center fielder. They can both switch off. And so that's going to help out Tyreek even more. You're going to have that much more help with the defense because it's going to be disguised a little bit more. You can do more things with it. They're in the second season, so they all have more synchronicity with one another. They're more aligned with what they're going to do and how they want to do it. And that's what's going to help Caleb. But as far as Tyreek, man, dude, the moon, the stars, you name it, he has that all ahead of him in terms of him being able to really be that impactful player. I think he can be maybe third team. I don't know if they do that like in basketball, but he can maybe be second team defensive back because the Bears are going to be expected to be good defensively. So eyes are going to be on them at the beginning, unlike last year where eyes weren't on them. People were expecting them to be garbage, and they were early on. But this year, those expectations are already in place, so people are already going to be looking at the defense as a whole. Jalen Johnson becoming one of the more premier cornerbacks. Eyes are going to be in the secondary as well. Brisker be one of up-and-coming safety, so the eyes will be there. All he has to do is flash like he did during some of the things in the OTAs and mini camps or what have you, to where he gets those picks that stick out, Heisman moment type picks, if I can use a vernacular from college, something that makes you remember, like, oh yeah, man, remember that pick, something that's a highlight type deal. And if he gets another 4 or 5 picks, which isn't easy, but if he maintains double-digit breakups, his tackles, and that defense is a top 5, top 7 defense, he may be second team all around. But I think he has potential to be the best cornerback in the next 2 years, because I think his physicality is what separates him from Jalen. He's a much more physical, aggressive cornerback, and I think those are the kind of things that resonate not just with your teammates but with the fans, and we can really get behind that.
Yeah, wasn't it Cleveland that he had that diving interception at the goal line? We're like, whoa, he was nowhere. I think he was in the first row, and we're like, oh, damn, touchdown. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. Where did he come from? So he has another 1 or 2 of those, at least one this year like that. Yeah, I agree with you. That those highlight films are great. Things changed for him, obviously, with the addition of Sweat. When he got there, that really changed the whole complexity of this defense. Talk to me about him going through his first full Chicago Bears training camp, and the familiarity, the comfort that he has now. Now he's got that, half a season out. He's been with the boys. He's hung out with them. He's partied with them. Gone to a couple of baseball games. They've started to build chemistry that was immediately during the season. You got to, because you're practicing, but now you got off season with him in his full camp. Talk to me about how that can help this defense. With him being more comfortable and being coached by the second most important acquisition this offseason, in my opinion,
Washington.
And Coach Washington.
Yeah, stay with me for this, and everybody out there understand that I'm just making not a apples to apples comparison, kind of an apples to orange, still fruit, but just different fruits, but within the same church, different pew. I think Montez Sweat's inclusion on this team is very similar to Julius Peppers in terms of the impact it makes with making everybody else around the team better at what they do. And I think with Montez, really first and foremost is like, just I don't want him to get hurt. Nothing where he's got a hammy or kind of recurring injury or something that takes him out, because I think that although he's not the soul of the defense, I think he's the heart right now. A lot of guys are beating with him. As he beats the rhythm that he beats to, the rest of this team seems to beat to as well. So I think he's an integral piece to this defense, not just in terms of on the field, but in the locker room and just out in terms of everyone, feeling like, hey, we got a chance to be special. I think if you remove him from the team, that way of feeling special wavers a little bit. I think the defense is still strong. I think they're still competent, but it's going to waver. He's probably the one person out of everybody on that defense that you can't have missed for any amount of time. In terms of right now with this team, like I said, I think it's just everything around him seems to gravitate. He's a nexus point for this teammates. And that's crazy, because the guy wasn't on the team, until like half through the season last year. And that's a testament to who he is as a person, his ability to, assimilate with everybody else. Whatever, I don't know him personally, but how his personality is, it just seems like, man, everybody can rock with this dude and let's go. And so I think he is, again, one of the more integral pieces to this defense on and off the field.
Yeah, guys, we're joined by Glenn Morgan, our piece from NBC Sports Chicago, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, in the locker room, I'll tell you what, his personality, I had a situation with him a couple weeks in a row. So one time I went to ask him, he had a big huddle around him at one point, and everybody left. And I said, hey, and I came back maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later. And I was like, hey, I said, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? He goes, I'm a little tired. He goes, I just want to get out of here. He goes, I'll hit you up next week. I was like, all right, cool, man. No problem. I respect it. Believe me, I play football. I understand. Sometimes you just like, I just want to get the hell out of here, whatever. So the next home game, I go in there and I was like, hey, man, I said, hey, do you mind if I get a couple questions? He's like, yeah, bro, I'm a little tired. I was like, well, I go, you said that last week. He goes, oh, I did? All right, cool. Go ahead. Fire him off. I was like, oh, snap. Like, just to say, okay, cool. I promised it. I kind of kept my word. I was like, oh, and his demeanor, he seems like a really cool guy you could easily get along with. And you see him playing and, and joking with the guys. Like, he seems like a really cool dude to hang out with. And I think that defense has a chemistry about them where they really like hanging out with each other. Like, they like each other. Like, it's not like, okay, we're good. All right. And we kind of go our separate ways. They truly, truly, truly like being around each other, hanging out with each other, messing around with each other. And those are teams. I played on teams like that, where you have like offense loves each other, or even the whole team is in general loves hanging out with each other. And those are championship teams. And that's a good start with these guys when they really love hanging out with each other. And the superstars, because I think I can call him a superstar. With his contract, I can call him a superstar. And he's one of the guys, and they love being there. Talk to me about we'll stay with the defense with him being there, but talk to me about Eberflus. Now he's set for all intents and purposes. All right. How do you think this defense does under his watch again? He's a head coach, but he's still making the calls, even though Washington is still the DC, but it's still Eberflus's defense.
Yeah, it is, and I think the thing that sets Eberflus apart, if he has a superpower or a burgeoning superpower, so to be, is he doesn't have the ego that says, this is my defense, do it my way or the highway. He has an ability to listen and adapt. He did that. He showed that last year. He definitely showed that last year. And bringing Eric Washington, Eric is the quote unquote defensive coordinator, but Eberflus is going to be calling the play. So that could seem like, oh, that's like an ego grab right there. He's trying to make a stance. You could say that, but Eberflus doesn't work that way in terms of how he relates to people. And I say that because just recently they've been talking about Billings moving to the 3 technique. That might be something from Eric Washington saying, hey, you know what? I noticed that he can do this, that, or the such. And if we put him here and we slide Gervon over here, we bring Walker in here, or, we get the rookie Booker to do what he needs to do. That my point is, why move Billings? Because you had so much success there. Why even mess with that? Why even tempt that? It's a lot of people will be saying, nope, this is what we're going to do. This is what we did. It was successful last year. I'm going to do it this way. The fact that you're entertaining that lets me know that, again, you're malleable enough in your mentality and your approach to your team and how good it could possibly be by not being stubborn, by being flexible. That flexible doesn't mean you're weak. Flexible means that you can rock with the waves. And that's what happened with Eberflus last year. If he wasn't flexible, I don't think he'd be here. I think he'd be like how Nagy was. Nagy was so inflexible, it cost him his job ultimately. He was refusing to do things. Nope, it's got to be this way. It's got to do this. I'm refusing to do this. I don't want to do this type of formation. Like, dude, this is what your teams can do well. This is what, why don't you try this I formation? I don't want to do that. Man, I formation is really working. Okay, maybe I was wrong. By that point, 3-4 seasons, 4 seasons into it, it's like, yeah, dude, okay, nah. So I think that's Eberflus's secret, if not a superpower, and the secret ingredient to the recipe that's Eberflus, is that his ability to be adaptable and not let his ego get in the way of the team's success. So that I think that's the most important thing going forward with this new inclusion of some of the coaching staff, but also the influx of players. And I still believe we're going to be getting another edge rusher. I just think Poles is in no hurry to do that. Wants to see how good these guys are, so they get a lot of like, you're going to bring in a veteran. Veteran doesn't need as many snaps. Booker's going to need a lot of snaps. You know what I'm saying? You guys that are new to the team going to need the snaps per se. So Ngakoue is probably, I think Ngakoue probably be the person that comes back. And again, if he is the person that comes back, he already knows how everything works with the team, and he won't need those reps per se. So yeah, man, I think Eberflus has got to keep doing what he's been doing, and just learn from whatever mistakes that he's made, and hopefully he can do as a head coach. Hopefully he can do that.
Wow, you stole my thunder. You do it every time. You're always right here because that was my very next question about that other edge rusher in Ngakoue. Did you want to bring in someone else? Obviously, it would have to be at a much reduced rate than he was last year. They gave him 10 last year, so 3 to 5, something like this year. What do you expect from Austin Booker and DeMarcus Walker on that side? And even if you do bring in Ngakoue, do you still is he good enough, or would you think they might consider bringing in 2 guys to work out? Because Ngakoue didn't really do much last year.
Well, he didn't. I mean, he had to get used to a whole new team. I'm not making excuses. This is the reality situation. He had to get used to a whole new team. The line wasn't really good early on. There were injuries early on when he was there. Once he started to actually look like he was doing better is when he got hurt. So he couldn't take advantage of Montez being there. I think if he had stayed healthy, maybe we win one of those 2 games that we lost down the stretch that we had a 90% chance of winning. I think that he can be enough because I think if nothing else, it provides better depth and better experience as opposed to a young rookie or another free agent who maybe hasn't played as much. I mean, Ngakoue has had some really great seasons, so it's not like he's some buster or some scrub. I think sometimes a player has an ability to be more effective when he's used to his surroundings. He's kind of been a mercenary for a few years, bouncing around.
Yeah,
and I think
he hasn't had less than 8 sacks until last year with us.
Right. Well, injury had a lot to do with that too. And I think if he came back, and I believe that he probably will, but him coming back, that helps with the continuity, helps with him understanding without having to make that adjustment. That time for adjustment isn't needed. That time can be used being more productive on the field. And I think that it's something that Austin Booker could also learn. It's great to learn from Montez, but then Ngakoue is a different style. So Booker can amalgamate the 2 and become a better edge rusher. I mean, Booker's got those arms. He's got that length, man. He's got
very lanky, man. I noticed that. He's very
ability,
lanky. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, the long arms, he's lanky. That elongated aspect to his physique allows him to, cut down on angles. It allows him to not have to over pursue. Once he learns how to blend his speed and athleticism and quickness with his size and his knowledge on the field, he can be he can be Jason Taylor-like. I'm not saying he's going to be Jason Taylor, people. I'm not saying he's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying in terms of, body type wise and effectiveness and usability, think along those lines. And if he's a poor man's Jason Taylor, I can live with that as well, especially in the way this team is composed. He doesn't have to be a superstar there. There are superstars in other places. You just need to be good, apply that pressure, get the sacks when you can, and don't get beat out on the edge, and make sure because his length, he can affect things even out on the flat. His stride, he can get out there. So you throw a quick dump off to the running back. I bet you Booker's going to be there in a flash. That guy might get 2 or 3 yards at best.
Especially if the running back has to cut back once or twice. He's coming the opposite way.
Exactly.
To me, I think it's important for this guy. I think this guy is going to be. He might be the steal of this draft for the Bears, and here's why. One, his ability. He's still very raw. All right, he's still very raw as far as playing the defensive end slot. Then you get to learn from Montez Sweat. You get to learn from Yannick Ngakoue if he comes back. But more importantly, you get to start your professional career under the tutelage of Eric Washington. I think that's important. My old saying, coaching matters. And when you get taught proper fundamentals, when you get taught well, all right, in the beginning of your career, man, it's important. That stays with you. All right, that doesn't have to be unlearned, untaught. Like if you're taught bad habits or your bad habits are allowed to stay with you, you got to get untaught those, and then you got to learn new ones. You're gonna get top-notch coaching and what from Eric Washington. Watch a perennial Pro Bowl player in Montez Sweat. I think this kid, that's a great way, a phenomenal way to start your NFL career that I think is going to be invaluable to him as his career goes on.
Sure. Yeah, hopefully. But no, right. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, everything you're saying, yeah. And, that's the thing. I'll say this about Poles' regime so far. You can say, man, he's been really lucky and fortunate. I think there are times And if you're really good at what you do, there are times where you create an atmosphere for your fortuitous things to happen to you fortuitously. And I think that's what he did. He created an atmosphere in terms of some of the moves that he made, some of the moves he didn't make, and allowing organically for things to kind of happen. And learning patience is probably the hardest thing for a young GM to do. And I think that at times he kind of fought himself a little bit, but he stayed patient, and it paid off, and it's paying off right now. And I say that to say that everything you just mentioned, having that coaching staff in place, it should organically allow for these players to develop, for these players to create that chemistry and that sustainability that you need to be successful. I mean, everybody can't be the Kansas City Chiefs, where it seems like they had instant success. Everyone attributes it so much to Mahomes, and not taking anything away from Mahomes. But again, as you and I have said before, let's not forget he was drafted on a playoff team. The team had been to the playoffs several years before he got there. But the reason why they've maintained that, because you can have a good year or two or good couple of years within 4 or 5 years. The reason why they are a consistent Super Bowl favorite is because the coaching staff hasn't changed much. The defensive coordinator hasn't changed at all. The offensive coordinator / head coach hasn't changed. Some of the coaches that were there, Eric Bieniemy stayed there for, 3 of the Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl victories. The offensive line has had its flux, but the interior has been pretty consistent. Kelsey has been a constant. There have been things there that in the division has declined around them, so that helps. Kind of like with the Patriots, everyone around them declined while they were trying to beat them. They got worse, which is really weird. So those are things, and obviously Mahomes is a super X factor, but you need to have those things in place to have that sustainability. And hopefully here with this Poles regime, that's where we're starting to see. And that's why I think it was important that Eberflus not be let go, because of what we started to see happen with the defense. And we started to see some of the coaching in terms of how the players are aligning themselves to the principles, aligning themselves and buying in. You start that over again, then there's a process where they have to rebuy in again. It takes more time, and it's just another setback, But Eberflus, no doubt, has to get better at head coaching decisions. But as a coach, and as a coach in terms of being the head coach within the confines of Hallis Hall, the things that we can't see, he's made probably the greatest impact. And I think that's a big reason why he's here. I think there's a reason why Poles and this regime is starting to look like they'll do well and sustain any kind of adversity that comes their way, because they're building a strong infrastructure. They're getting that basement, that foundation down, the basement. Now we're at the floor, now we're starting to build up. And pretty soon we could put windows on this mug and put the roof on top and have something nice to look at.
So where would you put Eberflus then? Because there was if this team starts off 0-3, 0-4 like last season, do you think he's closer to? And then you look at it, he's one of the favorites for Coach of the Year. Where is he at going into the season in your minds? Is he closer to Coach of the Year, or is he closer to losing his job at this particular point?
No, I not to ride the fence, but I think he's smack dab in the middle, or way closer to the middle than either of the other polar opposites you gave me. And I don't believe they'll start off 0-3 or 0-4. I think 5-4, 4-5, maybe before that break, and then they'll hit a stretch. I think where they'll win several of those games. Maybe have the first 4 win. Hey, this is the first time in Eberflus's regime that he's had 4 winning game, 4 streak. 4. My God, I can't.
4-game winning streak. 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, what you said. And so I see something like that happening, and really where the testament to how well he's become as a head coach, how much he's improved or grown as a head coach, will be that those last 8 games, man. I mean, 6 of those games are division games, so they're uber important. And in between that, you got Frisco and Seattle, who will be fighting for, making the playoffs as well. Those teams are sound rosters as well. Now, Seattle has a new coaching staff, so we'll see if that messes with anything. But as far as talent, they're as talent as the Bears are. If maybe not in some spots, maybe here and there a little bit more, but they pretty much almost resonate at the same vibrancy, because the secondary strong there. Strong running group, receiving group was good. Quarterback situation seems to be one is more of a veteran, one has more potential with us. Tight ends. There's a lot. The defensive line. There's a lot of similarities there between those two. It'll be like facing a mirror image of you, from the anti-universe. It's multi-universes. Yeah, bizarro world, exactly. So, I think that's where we're going to see him really get to test his mettle as a head coach. I don't think his job is on the line unless they just really shit the bed. I mean, really, because you have the rookie quarterback, so there's going to be growing pains. It's not in a vacuum. You're going to have to take everything, contextually, game by game, and see where did the coach or the head coach not make the right decision that cost the team, or where was it that the young quarterback who you have to let play, his inexperience led to, inconsistencies for the team. And not blaming the quarterback, but just saying, there's a butterfly effect.
So next week is the Hall of Fame game. How long do you play Caleb in that game and throughout the preseason? You've already started earlier than most teams, because of the Hall of Fame game. New quarterback, new system. I mean, mostly terminology. System is going to be similar, but just terminology, maybe a couple different things. But this is all new to Caleb. How long do you play him in the Hall of Fame game, and how long do you play him in the preseason, in each preseason game?
Well, for the Hall of Fame game, I mean, let's be serious. You play him from basically warm-ups until the fourth quarter ends. He plays the entire game. No, I'm joking. You probably play him the least amount of snaps in the Hall of Fame game because he hasn't had a taste of the NFL, and you don't want to expose him to something. The speed's going to be different. Every rookie, pretty much says the speed is the difference. I didn't realize how fast. Right now, he's getting picked off, and the defense is messing with him in Chicago, and they're probably playing at like 3/4 speed, and they have no pads on. Okay, so when someone's coming at you, headhunting you, or they're trying to make the team, I don't want that guy trying to make the team at the behest of my quarterback getting his head knocked off. So I'd say probably 2 series at most in the Hall of Fame game. As far as the preseason overall, I don't know snap counts per se, like what that may equate to. I've heard anywhere from 45 to 65. I think Courtney Cronin said something about that the other day. I would say I would go by quarters. That's how I would kind of equate it. I want him to have the equivalent of 4 quarters at the very least by the time the preseason's done with. 4 to 6 quarters.
Okay.
I think 6. If you see 6, I think it's because he wants to be out there. I'm talking about Caleb. He wants to be out there. There's some things he's seeing, but also too, he can't be out there if the first team's not out there. I'm not putting him out there with the backup.
Backup anybody.
Maybe like if you're going like 12 personnel, I might do that a little bit, maybe if it's but as far as the skill guys go. But other than that, no, I don't want him out there more than they're going to be out there. So I say 4 to 6 quarters, and probably ramp down, and that's including the totality of time.
I said minimum 1.5 to a half. Give me that.
The whole preseason?
For all the preseason. Hall of Fame game will probably be a little less just because of the reasons you stated. But give me 1.5 for the other 3. All right. Or even if you want to go half, quarter in the, like cover 6 or quarter, half, but half, quarter. And then the last game, you just have them a quarter because then everyone else who's fighting for a spot gets more time. I'm even okay with that. But I think he's got to play at least two of the preseason games. He's got to play a half, again, with the first team. I just think he needs live bullets. I just think he needs this, and you're getting guys who are trying to make this roster. You get because you're real live NFL competition, not your teammates anymore. Not what I mean. So yeah, I'm with you 4 to 6. I say again, I would even go 2 half, not quarter for the Hall of Fame game, half quarter, or maybe even 2 series. If that,
maybe
the last
series,
game. The last game.
I'll say this, man, because he is the starting quarterback. I mean, really, there's no competition behind him. I know that it's like you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. You don't want to get hurt. Hey, offensive line, do your job. Hey, coaching staff, don't have him in some plays where he's holding the ball long. There are things you can do to help him out. It's not just all on him. But because he is going to be the starter, he needs to play, man. He needs that timing. He needs that timing with Odunze and Scott, even your fourth string wide receiver or your fourth wide receiver. You need that. You need it with Everett. You need it with your backup running backs. To know how, because look, they can all catch the ball. Khalil can catch, Roshan can catch, but they don't all run the routes the same way. You know what I'm saying? So you got no difference. Like, hey, that angle route, that Texas route that you can do to Swift, that wheel route, you probably can't do that with Roshan. You don't have that kind of speed. You know what I mean? He's more of a flats guy. So you got to understand the difference. And then how you throw the ball when you're throwing it to the running backs is different.
Two different, yes.
Then you throw the receiver. So again, he needs to learn how to play quarterback. He needs to learn how to play quarterback with his teammates, and they need to understand him and know that when he busts left or busts right, the offensive line needs to know where to follow him, how to protect his backside, because he don't move the same way Justin does. Some of these guys might be thinking he's like Justin. Justin is maybe like a up the field. Caleb is like, kind of like Russell Wilson, kind of roundabout.
Yeah.
I'm a roundabout this way, I'm a roundabout that way, and then I'll take it upfield because I'm trying to pass. You got to block differently. With Justin, it's like, okay, hey, let me make sure I don't get in the way, and all right, go. I'll watch you because Justin, is up the field already. Caleb is kind of like, no, you need to keep watching his backside because he's coming right back to you, and it's someone either going to be waiting for him if you're not blocking him, or there's someone behind him if you're not blocking him. So those are things, I don't want to see a lot of that in the preseason, obviously, but those are things you still need every now and then. You need to understand, hey, this dude moves different. This dude thinks different. This dude is different. And how can we align ourselves so we're not on different pages? We're reading from the same book.
What do you think of Tevinjenkins and the stalled contract negotiations? Do you think he comes out and really goes crazy and says, you know what, you don't want to negotiate, bump this, I'll bet on myself like Jalen Johnson did and demand a higher contract? Or do you think he sulks? What are your thoughts on Tevinjenkins? Because I think he's one of our most important he's in the top two of our best offensive linemen, him or Darnell Wright. So
it's really interesting that some of the players you talked about weren't guys that Poles even drafted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a certain, and Tevin's been here long enough with Poles. I think there's a certain pragmatism that comes with it and understands, okay, he was, that what Poles did with Justin's going to go a long way. Hey, we want to do right by Justin. That was a mantra, and that they did that. With Jalen, then it wasn't contentious, but there was, there wasn't a lot of budging here and there until
very business-like.
Right. And so I think with Tevin, I think he's taken that attitude because he's taken a lot more, he paid a lot more attention to his diet and his strengthening and his flexibility. So I think he believes and knows that I got to stay healthy. The only thing stopping him, I believe, is his question of his health. Can he be on the field? And if you get by probably the bye without any kind of injuries, and he's doing what he does when he plays out on the field, I think the negotiations are probably ongoing at that point.
Okay.
And maybe when I say ramping up, I just mean they're continuous. But I don't think anything is going to happen until he can at least put 15 games in. I think there's some latitude a little bit, but if he's only put up 10 games, then no. I believe that Taven's going to take his services elsewhere, maybe to Miami. I don't know, but maybe to South Beach. But yeah, it just, I think Tevin's got to stay healthy, and I think he knows that, and that's why he's doing what he can so he can maintain his health, and not just for this year. Yeah, you want to get paid, but you want to have a career. I mean, you want to be around for another paycheck too. I mean, he's young enough, and offensive linemen, if you're healthy enough, and they need offensive linemen, especially good ones, then he can maybe get a third contract. So yeah, I think he won't sulk. I think he'll be an adult about it. I think he'll be a businessman about it. I think talking to Jalen, that's another thing too, man. You got these guys who in the locker room, if anybody might have more of an issue, I would say potentially it might be Khalil. It's just like, man, dude, I can see the writing on the wall. You brought DeAndre in here. I wasn't your draft pick. I was banged up last year. So I think Khalil's a guy that really needs to show if he wants to stay in Chicago. But even if it's not Chicago, to go elsewhere, every opportunity he gets, he's the one who needs to show. So I think these guys, Poles has been consistent. You know, I said that a long time ago. The thing about him and Eberflus, these guys are as transparent as you can be, but they're not disingenuous, and that's what you want. You want a guy who's not going to say one thing and then do the other, you know, or act like he's not going to say something, or act like he's not going to do something and then do it. You know, he's been pretty much upfront, and I'm sure more upfront with even the players in a lot of ways, but he's been consistent about that. You know, from the time he got here. You know, even with Roquan, it didn't work out, but you know, it wasn't like, you know, he was telling Roquan anything that wasn't true. You know what I mean? And then he did again. Roquan went to the Ravens. I mean, bro, you can't go to a better place.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like even if they trade you to get some value, trust they're going to trade you somewhere where you could come up. You know, so I like that too. You know, so yeah, man, I think Poles right now he's on the trajectory to being one of the better GMs in at least in the last, I say, half century in Chicago. Right up there with, you know, the Cubs GM, Theo, and I know people don't like me saying it, or maybe they don't think Jerry Krause deserves it, but that dude is one hell of a GM. You may not like his personality, and you know, I know if Michael says he doesn't like him, the world doesn't like him, but Krause was a hell of a GM. And,
oh hell yeah! Put that the only person he didn't draft was Michael. It's the only person he didn't acquire.
Right. And
don't forget Bowman on the Blackhawks too.
Yeah, to some degree.
He didn't bring in Taves and Kane, but he put all the other pieces around, like Krause. Yeah, he put all the other pieces around him. So no, I hear you. I hear you. So what do you think before we let you go, man? I appreciate it, guys. Again, we're joined by Glenn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. What do you think the record is going to be? Because you know what? People looked at me crazy. Like, I'm gonna put it up here, bro. In that first 10 weeks, all right, that ends with New England. All right, there's a bye in there. I'm having a very difficult time finding a third loss in there. I can come up with 2 losses, but I'm having a difficult time. And if you come out of those first 9 games, all right, 7-2, man, you are cooking with grease. And
yes, you're cooking with grease, and I think you're a Bears fan, and God love you. God bless your Bears spirit. I guess this is where the part of where the fans start saying, screw Morgan, he's always a hater. I'm not a hater. I've been loving the Bears my entire life. Trust me, more than half a century, folks. The Tennessee game is not going to be as easy as people think. I agree. And this is it, but it's at home, so I feel better about our chance. I think I say we got 55-45, 60-40, we win that. The Texans game, I'm kind of writing off as a loss. The Colts game, it depends on who's quarterbacking. Yeah,
that's the wild card for me.
Quarterbacking. That's a tougher team than people want to give credit, and that's the thing. We don't pay attention to the AFC as much, and so we kind of dismiss them. But that's a team that was, you know, fighting for the playoffs up until maybe the last 2 weeks of the season. The Rams, their defense is going to be a little. That's probably where they're going to be susceptible. No more Aaron Donald, but their offense, and it's early in the season where most of those guys will probably be healthy, so their offense is a bit of a concern. But again, I think I'll put it this way: there isn't anybody on this schedule outside of maybe the Texans and a healthy 49ers team that I don't think we can beat. And I mentioned those 2 teams because those were on the road as well. But I mean, we can. There's no Chiefs on this roster. There's no Ravens, you know, on the schedule, I should say. There's no Chiefs, no Ravens. You know,
no
even
Philly.
The Browns no Philly, but you know, Philly was susceptible last year. But even last year, the Browns, we should have won that game. You know what I mean? So I think we have the potential to win as many games as we can. I also believe that there are going to be games that we lose that we shouldn't lose. So I'm really looking at, I think I said it before, I think I'm 9-8. I think at worst, probably like 7-10 again, 8-9, but it all depends on how that happens. You know, there's ways 7-10 won't upset me. There's ways at 9-8, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I was 9-8, but I don't think so. Now, does that mean that that's my ceiling? No, I believe if some things fall our way, we could, you know, 11-6 is possible. I mean, no one saw Houston.
Yeah, it is.
They did, you know, Here's the thing in NFL football. Hockey has it a little bit. Basketball, not as much. Baseball, not as much. Attrition. The physicality of football, that attrition happens every year. You don't know when it's going to happen or whom it's going to happen to. And that makes a big difference, because as good as Houston did last year, some teams were hurt when they played them. They played the Bengals without Burrow. They caught Jacksonville at the right time. They went to a rut, and Lawrence struggled all year with injuries. And the Colts, they were up here back and forth with quarterback situation and other injuries, and Taylor, all these things. So we don't know. An injury to Jordan Love, Green Bay's not the same team.
Yeah, you're damn right.
An injury to Justin Jefferson, I don't know with the quarterback situation. Darnold might still be good, but he would be a lot better with Jefferson. The running back situation, and everyone else has things to deal with. The Detroit, I mean, they're pretty solid, but their secondary is kind of new. So when you catch them, do they have everything together, or are they still trying to figure it out? Jacksonville, Jacksonville's probably looking to rebound, and playing Jacksonville in playing Jacksonville in England is almost like a
old
home
England.
Game Jacksonville, right? Old England, old England, yes. Indubitably, when they play Jacksonville in Old England, it may not be something that works out well for the Bears, because because Jacksonville plays there so often, they understand the rigors of that kind of travel. So, it's when you catch these teams, where Caleb's development is. And again, I'll say this, if I hadn't said it before, the most important relationship right now that needs to be developed is Waldron and Caleb.
I concur. And that's why like I mentioned earlier, I think that first 9 games, I think it's, even if you do come up with 6-3 and you can split those last 4, man, that's 10-7. That's a nice season.
Right.
That's a nice season. And, an improvement is for me, they got to go 10-7. They got to go 10-7.
I see Shorty saying 13-4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first team to win he also had the first team to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback.
Right.
He's been on that for about 2 months. Ever since they drafted Caleb, he's been on that.
Maybe in his Madden league, that's what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure in his Madden league, he's got them going 13-4.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited. I'm looking forward. We'll see if I can get to that game in Ohio, or apply for credentials. So hopefully we get that, and I'll take a quick ride down 80 to Ohio and check that out. But it's going to be fun, man. It is here, and I'm anxious to see the development from week 1 to week 18, because I think that's going to be huge for Caleb. And the more he develops, man, the more this offense develops, and the more this offense develops, Lord have mercy, because I think this defense is going to. They understand that they got to kind of shoulder the load early on, and I think they're anxious. I actually think they're looking forward to it. Like, okay, we get the ball and snap. We get to snap quick and let people know. We're coming out the gate, let everyone from jump. This ain't the same old Chicago Bears. We're going back to the 06 and 06 team defense, 85 type defense. Be that dominant, man. If they do,
even the 18 defense, bro. Even the 18 defense.
Yeah, that was just a double dunk here.
I blame that on Trubisky anyway, and the coaching staff. But that defense was deadly, man. I mean, I think they were finished with number 1, I think, overall.
I don't remember.
I know they were top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I know they were top 5. So yeah, even if it's that defense with a better offense, and I think with a better quarterback in terms of ability and sustainability and growth, higher ceiling, with a better, I would say better play caller, but just a play caller who understands, and has that malleability and that adaptability. That's the key, man. You look at Andy Reid. The big reason why he's successful is because he knows how to adapt to this talent around him and to the times around him. That's what you got to do, man.
That's it. Glenn, man, as always, excellent stuff, bro. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, let everyone know where they can find you in your work online and on TV.
Yeah, man. Hey, you can find me, while you still can, on NBC Sports Chicago, whether it's Football Night in Chicago, Understand the Podcast from time to time. Every now and again, the guys at CHGO let me get a little spot, like a shine over there a little bit, but also whenever you can, Drew Glenn Morgan at Real Glenn Morgan, Drew Glenn Morgan on Twitter, and hey, on your show when you're kind enough to let me, grace the airwaves here. So
Man, I love talking Bears with you. So we'll have to do it again. We'll do it more often this season. But great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. It's gonna be nice, not too hot. So enjoy it, and we will talk soon, man. Bear the freak down.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Bear down.
Thanks. Guys, that's Glenn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago, man. Great stuff. Love talking Bears football with him. Lord have mercy, because we could have gone around for another 2-3 hours. But, and you know what? And you guys would have loved it. You guys would have loved it as well. But, man, that was great stuff. I'm looking forward to it, the start, how we finish up with Tennessee, how we start with Tennessee. Okay, it's going to go a long way. We got to win that first game. Like I said, I can see 7-2, 6-3, the absolute worst in that first 9 games, and now we're cooking with gas. All right, you're kind of playing with house money, because if you just split those last games, I think we can get 1, maybe 2 out of Detroit. All right, that's 2 wins, and I think maybe you get 1 out of Minnesota. All right, and then all you need is 1 out of Green Bay or Seattle, and man, there's your 4. Now you're looking at 10-7, a double digit win season is what I'm hoping for, and that's an improvement. All right, you can't go, 7 wins, 8 wins. I think that would be a failure of a season. Doesn't mean I'm not projecting anything further. I'm just saying I think the season would be a failure if we get 7 wins or only 8 wins. Could have just kept the last guy and built him and the camaraderie and the continuity that they had. So to me, I'm looking for 10 wins and a good arc. All right, noticeable development for Caleb, and that's important. All right, is for him to develop, and that falls strictly in the lap of Shane Waldron. Right? Do you work the short game with his quick release? When you guys mentioned his quick release and how it was going to help the short game, yeah, it is. All right, 1, 2, 3, balls out, quick, fast. Man, defensive linemen get tired. You keep bursting, you don't get anywhere near the quarterback. It takes its toll. So you're going to do that. You're going to get the ball to your playmakers, which he has plenty of on offense. And like I said before, I think you win with Caleb first 9 weeks, and I think after that you'll be able to win because of him. So win with him. Rest heavy on your offensive line, rest heavy on your running backs, rest heavy on your tight ends. All right, rest heavy on your receivers on this short game, because once you get that short game established, and it's deadly, or I wouldn't say deadly year 1. It gets it's very efficient in year 1. As I mentioned again early in the combo. Now you got double moves. Now you got post corners. All right. Now you got disco routes that work. All right. You have a lot of things that are in play that are going to make things easier for your receivers to get open, because of the fact that they're expecting the short game, which has killed them for the majority of the game and what they've seen on film. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'll let you guys know if I'll be at the Hall of Fame game in Canton. That'll be pretty. As long as Caleb beats F Green Bay twice a season, it's a winning season. Bears win anything 9 and up, I'm a happy man. Okay. Give me 10 personally, but I feel you. I feel you, King Book of World. I feel you. All right. Well, listen, guys, 2 hours is come and gone. What a phenomenal show. I want to thank my guy, Glenn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago, for coming on talking Bears football with me. And I want to thank you guys. Man, this chat was lit again today. Yeah, fool. I'll take Caleb over Rexy Grossman, Trubisky, and Neckbeard all day. Hey, this chat was lit. It was good to be back with you guys. I'll be back on Friday. All right, I will be back on Friday again, and then on Monday next week we get back to 3 days a week. I'm fired up about it. Next week is a Hall of Fame game. More Bears content, more Bears coverage, and let's relax. Let's be happy with the good days. Okay, learn from the bad days, and let's not make have our emotions swing so great every time if Caleb does well, or if our defense does well, if our defense dominates. You want your defense to dominate, but I think it's been a good situation where you're your young rookie quarterback is holding his own. All right, and I love that. I love that about him. Thanks, Plank. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So listen, guys, have a phenomenal day. All right. Do me a favor. All right, today's gonna be a nice day. All right, make the most of it. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. All right. I say that a lot, especially what's happened, in my personal life in the last week, a little over a week. It really, really resonates with me. It's of extreme importance for me to make sure I let you guys know to do that. All right. Send someone a text, set up a brunch date, lunch date, dinner, go out to dinner or something, or come over, visit, whatever. All right. Just let them know. Let your people know you care about them. It's life. This life is, it's quick. Like Ferris Bueller says, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around, you might miss it. And next thing you know, you miss time with family, friends, and loved ones. All right. I'm out of here. I got to go pick up the warden. I don't know if you heard her earlier. She's like, goodbye. She's getting a ride to CrossFit. I got to go pick her up. So, guys, you have a phenomenal day. I will see you on Friday. Friday, 9, same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. All right. Your boy, the SuperBack, baby. Love you. I miss you. I appreciate the love and support from my sports owners. I really, really do. Thank you. Guess what? I am out.